Saturday, September 23rd. And this morning I have a smile on my face because yesterday I read an article that indicates that Donald Trump may not be allowed to be on the presidential ballot in 2024. And this took place because in this article, lawsuits were filed in Colorado and in Minnesota. And the lawsuit alleges that Donald Trump, because of his role in stirring the January 6th plot, the insurrection that we all know happened, is a violation of the 14th Amendment. Now, the 14th Amendment, Section 3, talks about this. Talks about any actions like those taken by Donald Trump. And those actions negate the possibility that anybody performing those actions be allowed to run for office, let alone run for the presidency. This suit was brought by a group of voters, not an individual. And it's the latest effort to use the 14th Amendment of the Constitution to argue that Donald is ineligible to be president because he violated his oath of office after he lost the 2020 election. The suit claims, and I quote, Donald J. Trump, through his words and actions after swearing an oath as an officer of the United States to support the Constitution, engaged in insurrection or rebellion, or gave aid and comfort to its enemies, as defined by Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. That's what the suit says. And that was brought with the assistance of the liberal election and campaign finance reform organization Free Speech for People. So we have a group named Free Speech for People that has brought this lawsuit in Minnesota. And there is a like lawsuit going on in Colorado. And the wording in Section 3 is pretty clear, pretty bold, pretty straight out in your face. No person shall hold any office, civil or military, under the United States who, having previously taken an oath as an officer of the United States to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. And we all know what Donald Trump did on J6, because he was all over the place, locked up in his room, watching intently, refusing to call in any stoppage of what was going on at the Capitol. So there's no question that Donald Trump falls under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. But let's see what happens, because the final decision on whether this suit is going forward will come after October 4th, because that's when the judge has asked for all the final papers to be produced. So October 4th is going to be a big day in the history of the United States. So while I am talking about Minnesota and Colorado, it turns out that similar challenges have also been filed in Florida and Michigan. Now, Trump has called all these efforts nonsense and election interference. But the legal director for the organization Free Speech for People said in a statement that the legal action was necessary because Trump incited a violent insurrection that attacked the U.S. Capitol, threatened the assassination of the vice president and congressional leaders, and disrupted the peaceful transfer of power for the first time in our nation's history. So there's no question about Donald Trump's actions. And that it boggles the mind that he has such staunch support throughout this country. That there are MAGA people running around and supporting him and saying that the insurrection was merely a tourist attraction. And what are the candidates who are on the debate stage now going to say when these lawsuits are made more public than they are right now? What are those people who stand behind Donald Trump going to say? I'm a Trumpite and I love the man and he's great for this country when he's performed these illegal actions. Can they afford to say that? Can they afford to stand behind Donald Trump? I think not. I think that this kind of action, these lawsuits, are going to cause many Republicans who are on that stage to change their views. And I don't know how they're going to come out and say after they've been defending him all these years. And how Vivek is going to feel about this, his staunch Trumpite. And what's Nikki Haley going to say about it? Or Burgum, what are those people going to say about this situation? They're going to say that all these people, all of these states that seem to be gathering up to produce lawsuits against Trump are wrong? Are they going to talk against the people who are doing the right thing? Let us not forget that our predecessors understood that oath-breaking insurrectionists will do it again. And again and again and again if they can. So if we allow Donald Trump to get on the ballot and get back into power, even if he doesn't win in the next election, the mere fact that we allow an insurrectionist to run for presidency is a big black mark against our democracy. This clause, this insurrection disqualification clause, is in place to protect the people from people like Trump. Trump should be legally barred from the ballot. And election officials around this country should be taking some of those actions without even going through these constitutional mandates. Can a state actually keep somebody off the ballot without any other reason? Should the Republican Party be ashamed of themselves that they're allowing this guy to get in on the ballot? Yes, they should be ashamed of themselves. And the people, the 40 or 50% of the country that stands behind this man should be ashamed of themselves. Because we have freedom in this country, but it doesn't mean that you can do anything you want. So I leave you with that this morning. Insurrectionists may not be on the ballot. Have a great day. Bye.